Thanks for logging in. Welcome to Module 2, and this will be regarding the discussion board, our first part of this assignment. In this assignment, we're going to be taking a very general look at verbal communication and bring you up to speed on some of the newer terminology that's being used now. One example of that is in the old days we used to refer to our skills as soft or as people skills, how well we were able to communicate amongst people, how well they received us, how well we were able to get our communications successfully approved and that type of stuff. That's now been changed into soft skills, which is studied a lot in colleges now in the form of human resources or productivity and those type of things. So as we move into this, we're going to move into the classroom and actually look at different amounts of, or different study data necessary to get all these basic terms out of the way. So generally, we're just looking at it in the discussion board, and then we'll get into the details. So to give you an idea how this all works, let's go ahead and pop in to our academy. Let's click the login here, and we'll go ahead and log in. All right, and we're going to go to PE100 Elements of Communication, and we now go down to Module 2, which is our verbal oral communication. As we said, we're going to be working on the discussion board first, and here's our discussion board, and ours are classroom materials. Okay, now what the first item in this classroom materials is related to the video that you are now watching right now. So if you need to go back and kind of get some review on it or try and pick up on something you may have forgotten, feel free to come back and refer to it as much as you need to. The first real piece of study material here is 10 skills to thrive in today's job market. And as you can see, there's all sorts of things. As we discussed, the soft skills are actually people skills. And then we get into lots of different factors that are associated with verbal and oral communication. Accepting criticism, our flexibility, our ability to change, problem solving. And these are all things that we're going to get into in detail. But we wanted to just get you guys kind of getting your head around it and thinking about it in your everyday career. How much of these things are affecting you? How much of these things are you aware of? Such as your self-confidence. Do you feel self-confident in all your meetings or just some of them? And which meetings do you feel best in and which ones do you not? And work ethic is tying into the professionality, which goes so much into our body language, which we studied in the previous course, and now in our ability to verbally communicate in a manner that people wish to hear and find good information from and are willing to respect you for it. So just go through each one of these items and kind of get an idea of how this is working in your life and see if you can't do something to improve it or where do you think you need the improvement. But once again, this is just to give you kind of an overview. The next one here is more related to a lot of you guys that are just freshly coming out of college or in the last couple of years, and you're really starting your management progress. You're trying to become better as a project engineer, so eventually you could be that project manager you wish to be. So these are a lot of tips and pieces of advice on how to get better and better as your career continues in all these things that are related to verbal and oral communication. So very valuable stuff, and once again, it's very general. The third one is kind of fun. It's just talking about how about 95% of our pain is created by our own stupidity. And, you know, we've all had that experience where we picked up the phone and called somebody and made some statements that the next day we were somewhat trying to extricate ourselves from because we really hadn't thought out what it was we were trying to express at the time we made that phone call. So these are just kind of fun things that we've all run across, just to kind of show you how, if you don't do it, what happens. Here again, we got another item here, integrating your soft skills into your education. And truthfully, that's what's happening here in communication. This whole course of 6 modules of communication is all about soft skills. Sure, there's hard skills to it, but I think a lot of us have pretty much learned the hard skills, as far as we have a vocabulary, we have a way to communicate in effective sentences, we have a way to somewhat put our thoughts into groups so that they can be addressed in a manner that everybody can understand. However, as we get into it, it's how well you present it and how much credibility are you bringing into it. So these are some really good things to look at. And you can even take your own personal surveys right here and just click on this and go in and do your own survey and do it. And we also have something kind of fun at the end of this as well, is we have a survey that we've also put together for you. And all you'd have to do is log in, take the survey, and there's over 100 soft skills that we've identified associated with our business. However, we've isolated only those items that are really related to verbal and oral communication in this survey. And if you'll go ahead and do the survey and submit it, then we can give you guys some feedback on, if we see something that you're really good at, how do we make sure you're using that to its best benefit? And if there's an area that you're weak in, what can we provide in the way of more instruction or more materials or more, there's a lot of times that we actually do exercises on this type of stuff to get better at it. So if you'll go and do those surveys, we'll be able to come back and reply to you. Now, one other thing I would like to comment on, and that's basically the discussion board there, is that we do have right here in this module 2 a discussion board right here, which is a place where you can put all your questions and everything. So I just put a mock one up here so you could see it. So I could just create a thread right here, and then I could type in whatever I want right here, and then type in the question at this point, and then just go to the bottom and create that thread. And then that way I know that you need some help, and I can come in and help you on it. And also for your other classmates, if they want to share something, or there's something between you guys as peers that you can help each other with, it's a great little place to do it. And then finally, don't forget, if you really need to, just use the messages up here, because you can click on a message here and just create a message and send it to me or Patty Moore, or for that matter any of your classmates, and it'll get you, at least I will know at that point I need to get a hold of you so that I can help you in whatever way you need. So with that said, that's basically the discussion board, and I think you'll enjoy it, and I think it'll give you a lot of benefit on before we get into the nuts and bolts of the verbal and oral communication in the individual assignment. So have a good time, and hope I'll see you in the next round.